Hi, I'm Lydia. I'm a matchmaker and a dating coach, and I'm going to talk to you about specifically really about online dating because that's the only dating we can do at the moment during the coronavirus. So, if you're online, I know most people are on three different apps or websites. So, if you're not, you need to get online and choose them. I know in a circle, Hinge, Bumble are all very popular, and then the websites Match, Guardian Soulmates. So do a bit of research. There's plenty of fish. Some are free, some are charge monthly fees. So think about what's going to be best for you, and start building a profile. And it's sometimes a good idea to get someone from the opposite sex to have a look at your profile and see how you're coming across. It's definitely, once you've thought about the values that you're looking for in a potential partner, and who they're going to be and how you want to come across, make sure your profile slightly reflects that. And when you're chatting to people, look out for these values, and if they don't have them, or your gut instinct is telling you, oh, maybe this person isn't right, move on, because there's lots of people online and your gut instinct's usually quite right. So think about putting together your profile, get that online, and then hopefully you'll start chatting to people, and get some dates in. Now obviously dating is quite difficult at the moment because we can't go outside, so you're going to have to think about a phone call or FaceTime. Now, I think FaceTime will be really fun. Once you've maybe had a quick call with someone and you've decided maybe you want to FaceTime, you can think about where that's going to be, get the lighting sorted out, get a glass of wine, put some music on in the background, get comfortable, and see how you get along. I think it's really important to see someone in person. Obviously, you can't be there physically in person, so if you can FaceTime, it's really good to see if there's potentially that chemistry there. And you can keep sort of doing some FaceTime dates until we're allowed to go and meet people. And I think, but whilst you're chatting to people, some people will just want to chat lots and will never want to call, meet you. And if that's the case, but you think you get on really well, I'd leave it, because if they're not making it a priority to get to know you better, then they might just be keeping you there, just for their ego, and that's just wasting your time. So kind of put a time limit on it. I think if after at least 3 weeks of chatting to someone and they're not saying let's sort of progress this somehow, then you're just wasting time. Um, and it's always, confidence is one of the most attractive things in dating. So make sure you feel confident about yourself. So on that date, FaceTime date, or before a phone call, put on some music that's really going to get your spirits high, make you forget about any work or the long day that you've had looking after children and homeschooling, and get you sort of in that light, flirty mood. Because I think a lot of people forget that, and they were very good at it in their 20s or teenagers, to flirt, have just sort of forgotten that that's what you do on a date. So smile, get in the mood, get flirty, and if make an effort. I think people forget that, they book in lots of dates and think, oh, I've got so many in the diary, I don't need to make an effort. Well, actually, it's gonna bring out your best self. It's gonna make you feel good. So spray the perfume, spray the aftershave, even if even if you're on FaceTime. Change your top, put on some more makeup, whatever you've got to do, sort your hair out, just to feel really good, because the more confident, happy, that you feel on that date, the better you're going to come across, and the more someone's going to want to see you. Because if they see you, owning everything and super happy, then they're probably going to want to see you again. Um, saying that, if they don't take that to heart. Online dating is pretty savage. There's lots of people on there that are in relationships or just come out of relationships or have no interest in meeting people, and they see it as a bit more of a gamification. So try not to take that to heart. I know you're putting yourself out there. This could be the first time you're putting yourself out there, as a single parent, and you've just got to think, well, I'm glad that if that person's not right, there'll be someone else, and move on and find that right person. Now, when you are allowed to socialize again, it's a great idea to sort of spread out the dating. So you've got online dating, which you'll need to prioritize and put time aside for anyway. Especially as a single parent, you're going to need to think, right, do I want to date once a week? Can I date every 2 weeks? And what night's that going to be? And make that your date night. So you've got that in the diary, because otherwise it could go a month without that. But other ways of you meeting people in real life, doing different activities, going on meetups, doing new hobbies, going to clubs where you're going to meet like-minded people in a less pressured environment. So on a date, you're face to face. It can be an interview. We always say activities are a great date, because you're going to bond quicker. You've got something to talk about, and there's a start and an end. But if you're trying to meet people in real life and you're at an activity or clubs, it's just way more organic, and you can see if there's a spark with someone quite naturally, and hope that they are single and that you can build that rapport to date otherwise. So there are just a few little tips. So confidence is definitely key, but also thinking about who you're looking for, and don't waste time on someone that's super hot, but has no values, is not meeting any of your values. I mean, that's great, that's fun. But if you're looking for a long-term relationship and that real compatibility, you need to think about what you really need and what works for you, and if that person's eventually got that. So I'd sort of I hate lists, but just think about those traits. Do you need someone that's thoughtful, spontaneous, kind, the life and soul of the party? Just have a think. What's going to complement you, and then when you're dating, just keep that in mind as well. Okay.